Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to your Monday night show. Yeah, buddy, it's me, JT. That drug Sully along with me for this episode of Avenger Pretenders. That's right. We are doing episode 5 and episode 6 of the latest Marvel sensation known as Secret Invasion. Ba-ba-bum. Yes, grab your adult beverage, whatever it is you want to drink, something to munchine, because we're going to be here for a little while. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Sully, it's all yours.
Oh, why, thank you, sir. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Avenger Pretenders. Wow. Just wow. Lots to talk about. Mostly because we didn't do episode 5 last week, but since season 6, episode 6 was last Wednesday.
You did the same thing I did. Season.
I did say season. It's weird. Well, I mean, technically, it would be our season 6-ish. We've got a lot of shows under our belt that we've done for Avenger Pretenders, as well as 2 Ewoks in the park. So it's there. But this week we're going to be tackling episodes 5 and 6 of Secret Invasion.
So let's get it done.
Yeah, let's get it done. We're going to go right into it because holy crap, there's a lot of stuff that's going on with it. And yeah, I have thoughts.
Wait. That's never happened before. You have thoughts?
When it comes to the shit that I saw in both episodes 5 and 6.
I tell you what, this will be the first time I have said this for any series, any show that we have reviewed.
Okay.
I'm highly disappointed.
Yeah, but we'll get into that.
Highly disappointed.
We'll get into that. Yeah, we will. We'll get into that because, okay. So, episode 5 is called Harvest. Harvest. Talking about the harvest. People are saying, "What's the harvest?" Well, if you haven't watched it by now, you'll find out that the harvest is actually what they call the mixture of DNA,
collection
of every single superhero that was involved in the battle at Avengers Compound,
including,
but not limited to, everybody. Everybody.
It was interesting how they made sure that they emphasized one certain person.
Yeah.
And they did it at least twice.
Multiple
that I can
times.
Remember.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because clearly they wanted to make the Super Skrull super. And I get it. I do. I get it. You know,
but even when you have something like that, there has to be a weakness.
Yeah.
And if you actually gave that individual the powers of every single superhero, including, I'm not going to say who,
but not limited
they would not have a weakness.
Yeah. Well,
at least I don't think they would.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. So
Micaiah, they chopped his head off. So
yes, yes. How did? So, okay, you have to remember one thing, guys. There was a lot of bloodshed. Lot of bloodshed.
Mm-hmm.
Guarantee you Thanos bled at one point in time.
Well, and like I said, they chopped his freaking head off. So, I mean, they easily could have gotten it from that.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
You know, as well as the battle, because, like you said, a lot of blood was shed in that battle, and he got hit multiple times. I seem to recall one point where he kind of actually like wiped his nose or his lip or something and saw his blood on his hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of ways that it could happen.
We start this episode off where Fury is bringing Ritson to the hospital. Basically because, well, he saved him. He saved the president. Did what he needed to do, and at the same time, he said, trust no one and not to trust Rhodey. Which I had already called from day one. We'll get into that. But at the same time, Gravik and the rest of the Skrull resistance at New Skrullos, which is the unoccupied, the old nuclear power plant, things go kaboom. Things go kaboom. He gathers all his resistance members and says, you failed. How dare you? Your failure. He mentions that pagan, that if he was able to acquire the harvest, we'd be done with this whole situation. U.S. would be fighting Russia. The world would be on fire, and we would be able to sweep in and take control because that's what the plan was. Don't get me wrong. Very good plan. Very good plan. Get them fighting each other, then you come in, sweep them, and wipe them all out. Good for you. Good for you. However,
there's always a however.
Pagan says, well, if it wasn't for you and not killing Fury, I wouldn't have failed.
Would have been able to wipe out the entire convoy by myself.
Yeah. And then he says, listen, I'm questioning if we should be trusting you in this.
I don't think it would have pissed him off as much if he hadn't said that Fury didn't trust you, and now I'm starting to
well, yeah.
You want to name him Fury with him.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Absolutely. And it was, to me, it was interesting because the history between them, the Skrulls and Fury, goes back to the promise that was made in what I think it was episode 2 where we saw that flashback. Hey, you were supposed to find us a new place to live and blah, 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 yada, 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 so on and so forth. Well, Gravik kills Pagan. As an example, because he was
using Groot's powers.
Yeah, using Groot's powers, by the way. So we know he at least has those. And what is it? So he has those, and he has what the hell was it? The one from Iron Man 3 where they heal you.
I don't remember.
God damn it. I forget what it was. Extremis. Just popped in my head. Extremis. Because he can heal himself. Well, at the same time, he also says to other Resistance members that they need to go and take out Vara because Vara didn't kill Fury either. So now all hell is about to break loose down at Nick Fury's house. Yeah. So shit's hitting the fan.
All around.
This whole episode seems to be that turning point, I guess you could say, where if this was a movie, this would probably be the last hour to 45 minutes.
Right.
45 minutes to an hour, like the act 3. Okay. Because I felt this was moving very quickly.
Oh,
and Gravik calls Rava, and if you don't remember who Rava is, he's Rhodey. He's portraying Rhodey. and calls off another attack on Ritson, instead ordering to tell him about the Skrulls and convince him that they were working with Russia and reveal the location. And he's like, whoa, wait a minute. What? Why? What? Why are we going to give out all of our cards and show where we are? And he even said that this isn't a good idea. And Gravik said this is for leverage. The key word, leverage.
Yep.
Leverage against Fury. This Gravik is a spoiled brat.
You think?
He's a spoiled brat. Because this isn't a war to take over the Earth. This is a war against Nick Fury. He wanted Fury dead. Simple as that.
It's a dual purpose. He wants the world to hate Nick Fury, because to the world, Nick Fury is a worldwide hero.
He's the man. He's also dead.
So he wants to destroy the reputation of Nick Fury,
which I get,
and make him the most hated person in the world.
Sure.
And cause World War III, which would set things up for them to be able to sweep in, wipe out humanity, and take over the planet.
Sure.
But the planet is secondary.
And if you think about it, Fury doesn't want a full-scale war to begin with. He doesn't. Nobody wants war. Does it happen? Absolutely. It happens. But what he says as he's confronting Rava at the hospital, I'm going to release the footage of Fury killing Maria Hill. Which, guys, I still don't think she's dead. I really don't. I don't think she's dead. But that's a theory for another day.
I kind of question it too. I kind of question it too.
And don't get me wrong. It's a huge, huge question mark. It really is. Because to be honest, I really think, yes, they did the whole funeral and everything, but yeah, doesn't look good. But I still don't think she's dead. Well,
I mean, where that bullet went.
Yeah. Well,
so
from there, Fury lets Rava go, warns her that he is coming for Gravik, and Rava replies that Fury should tell him personally. Okay. All right. You want to be that way? Fine, I'll be that way. That's basically what Fury said. I'm going to come and kick your ass. Simple as that. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we see a news report of Nick Fury killing Maria Hill and his involvement in the attack on President Ritson. But we get a little visit from Sonya Fallsworth at the same time. You remember Sonya? The woman in red. The woman in red that so far Lady Death has not trusted, but also liked at the same time because she was quite funny. And she was very old school Nick Fury attitude.
Yeah, she was entertaining for sure.
And Sonya wants to point a gun at him and demands that, you tell her where to find Rosa Dalton. And if you don't remember who Rosa Dalton is, she is the main scientist that was helping to create the Super Skrull.
Right.
So that
real quick.
Yep.
Nikaya in the chat room just says, I love that woman now. She has got some awesome toys.
She really does. You got to remember, she's MI6. She's MI6. She's going to have all the cool toys that James Bond has. It's real simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's real simple. So when they arrive in Weatherby, she shoots Weatherby as MI6 agents come from pretty much everywhere. And they all realize, oh my God, he's a Skrull. Yeah, no shit. No shit. So Fallsworth goes to Weatherby with Death and says, listen, you're going to tell me where she is, and where to find her. Because if you don't, I'm going to kill you. Makes sense. Why not?
Right.
Why not? So far, these people are the enemy. But then we cut back to New Scrollos. And this is why I say this is something that would probably be the last hour, last 45 minutes to an hour of an actual feature film. And Gravik is approached by Beto. Now, if you don't remember who Beto is, he's the one that Gaia brought into New Scrollos as a refugee.
Right.
So he's just learning all the stuff that's going on, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and he moved up pretty freaking quick because for the short amount of time that he'd been there, he was an officer at that point.
Yes.
When Gravik had all the officers come together, he was there. I'm like, how the hell did he move up that quick? You know?
So I have a theory on that. And the theory is, I personally think that he moved up so quick was because all these Skrulls were dying. I mean, think about it.
Yeah,
everyone before him, everyone in the Resistance before him, there was like 6, maybe 7 of them tortured or shot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a slot opened up. There you go.
It's a good theory. It's a good theory.
I like to refer to it, and I just popped in my head, as the Admiral in Star Wars against Darth Vader. How many admirals did he choke?
All of them.
And there you go.
Nikaya says, I can see that and would concur. Yeah, it does make sense.
You fill the spot.
I would call it the Gravik effect.
Yeah. Well, he receives a call from Rava, who updates him on Ritzen's condition. And as soon as he hangs up, several Skrulls, including Beto, rebel against him. They try to coup. They basically try a coup. They try to take him out. It does not go well. Not go well at all. Basically, he just kicked the shit out of everybody using Groot's powers and a couple other powers, throwing them out the door, killing them like literally all over the place. And as they crash out the door, he goes, anybody else want to challenge me? And he screams it. And Beto, who's still alive, says, you're a monster. And then he slits his throat open and he dies. In front of all the other Skrulls to show that Gravik means business. Makes sense. Yeah, you're going to try a coup. You're going to try an uprising. You're going to try and stop everything. Not the greatest thing to do. Especially since a lot of them didn't know that he had these powers. Well, we fast forward a little bit to a wonderful safe house where Fury meets up with Gaia in London.
And it's an interesting safe house.
It's a very interesting safe house because it's the same exact safe house that all the Skrulls came to.
Where the deal was made.
Yeah.
The deal that all of this is about.
Mm-hmm. And that's when Fury tells Gaia that her father is dead. And she's at the point where, she doesn't know who to really trust anymore. But he also says that his death was not in vain. It was not meaningless. Mm-hmm. He knew what he was doing. And he wanted to go down the path for the better. And that's when they start talking about the Super Skrull experiments. And and Gaia says to him that he already stole Cull Obsidian and Groot. And we also know that he stole Extremis because he can heal himself. We know he can heal himself. So there's 3 powers right there.
Mm.
But
Well, yeah, because Fury blew his cheek off.
yeah. But that's where she also says he wants the harvest. And that's when Fury goes, well, shit.
Yep.
I mean, what would you do? You know, what would you do if somebody came to you and said, he wants your secret weapon, the secret weapon that you shouldn't have?
Well, but you have to add in the point that, he wants this so that he can wipe out humanity and take over the planet Earth for his people.
Yes.
Because that's, that's a pretty big part of it. He wants it. Big deal. He's not going to do anything if he doesn't get it. So, well, no, he's going to,
Yes.
if he gets it, he's going to wipe out the planet. So, that adds a lot of pressure into the decision-making process.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Then we fast forward not too long after, where Fallsworth and her MI6 agents have arrived at the Dalton residence and confront Rosa and Victor Dalton on their research for Skrull Power Replicator. And the best part about, I freaking loved this scene. This scene alone was, I don't know, I thought it was funny. Just with the way that Fallsworth was, holding herself, composing herself, talking to them like, are you sure?
Yep.
Are you sure about that? It was like she was talking as a parent to a 3-year-old. Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to tell me what I need? Because if you don't, here's what's going to happen. You're going to lose all your toys. And oh, by the way,
when she called the guy Nigel.
Nigel.
My name's not Nigel. No, Nigel is the name of the individual whose silencer is now pressing against the base of your spine.
Yep.
Nakia thought it was hilarious too.
It was funny.
It was
funny. So once Fallsworth finds out exactly what she needed to find out to at least help Fury with what he's doing, she orders her agents to burn down the lab. Burn down the lab, burn down the house, and Victor tries to free himself and take Rosa as hostage, claiming that Gravik's not going to let anybody, I'm not going to let anybody betray Gravik, and I'll kill her, and they shoot her. They shoot him.
Well, it was all the lady in red. She's like, I believe you would.
I believe you
Bang! It's like, whoa.
Without missing a beat. And obviously leaving Rosa alive, which is great. That's great news that they left Rosa alive, because now she can help Fallsworth get what she needs to do and help end this thing. Lady Death says Sonya just pops him off. Boom! Dead in a blink.
Yep.
So true. So true. It happened that fast.
And she didn't really do it fast. I mean, you watched her raise the gun. It's not like she snapped it up. She just kind of casually brought it up and bang.
I think you're right.
I was like, dude is slow.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I would have had time to recognize what she was doing and pull the trigger in the amount of time it took her to bring her arm up and pull the trigger.
True. Very,
just me.
very true.
Yeah, I'm just saying, devil's advocate kind of thing.
I'm liking it, though. I'm liking it. So, Western Echo says, shocking twist. It's all in Fury's mind the moment before he's erased by Thanos. I mean, hi. That would be a really good theory, but you're going to want to stick around for the theories that I've got. And
it would be a better ending than episode 6.
Yeah. But we're going to get into that because we're still on 5. From there, Ritson wakes up from his medical situation that was happening. He tells, he gets informed by Rava, also known as Rhodey, about the attack on him was orchestrated by the Skrulls and they were working with the Russians. So now they're trying to bring out this whole big World War thing here. And yeah, we're going to go from there. They also show the satellite images. They go into all the details of New Skrullos, saying that they're here, so on and so forth. We got to take them out, do what we need to do. And Ritson says that bombing on Russian soil would mean war.
World War III.
And Rava replied with that war is preferable to extinction.
No.
So clearly he's still doing, Rava's still doing exactly what Gravik told her to do, making sure that it's there. And oh, by the way, Nick Fury killed Maria Hill. Here's a news article and the video to prove it. Blah, 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 blah. But Gravik gets in touch with Fury and tells him about the leverage. And, hey, we're going to release this and we're going to do what we're going to do. And, oh, by the way, there's a bomb heading our way. Or going to be a bomb heading our way. The plan is in motion.
That's where he tells them that, in exchange for the harvest,
I will call it all off.
He will call it all off.
Yep.
Of course, I immediately threw the yellow and the red flag at that point.
Yep. And at the same time, we see a very familiar face. After. We see the return of Rick Mason. Now, if you guys don't know who Rick Mason is, allow me to explain. Rick Mason is the same person that helped Natasha Romanoff and her sister in Black Widow. Haha. Mm-hmm. It's all connected. It's all connected. So he's helping Fury to get to Finland, providing him fake passports, especially since Interpol just put a red notice on him and whatever. Lady Death says it's BS that he's calling it off. Listen, we know Gravik doesn't plan to call anything off because now he's got an uprising on his hands. Now he's got people that are, not behind him. So we fast forward. Gaia is traveling to Vara's house. And the reason that Gaia is traveling to Vara's house is because she has Talos, and Vara will know what to do for Talos and his funeral. Now, at first, a lot of people were like, Talos isn't dead. Yeah, he is.
No, he's cooked.
He's cooked. He's burned.
He's extremely well done.
They have a funeral for him. They bury him. They do what they need to do because, one, they don't want his body to be around. They don't want him to study it. They don't want to do what they need to do back from like in the 90s and so on.
Well, and they have to honor tradition.
Yes, they have to honor their Skrull tradition.
Yes.
Which, if you think about it, remember how I said Fury always has a plan?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this was the plan. This was part of the plan because he sent Gaia there because he knew Gravik was going to be sending Skrull agents to that house to kill Vara because Vara was now marked for death because she didn't kill Nick Fury in the earlier episodes. He's protecting her. He still loves her. We know that. We know. But that was the plan because if she was outnumbered, just herself, they probably would have killed her. But with Gaia there, now you have a second person there. Now you have backup. Now you have a chance of survival. And survive they did because they took them all out. Every single one of them.
I gotta say, mm-hmm. Great fight scene.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, great fight scene. I love the little stash drawer that they had with all the backpacks and all that stuff.
Yep.
My favorite part was when Gaia shot the guy that was swinging through the window.
Oh, yeah.
She shot him, and he literally hung there.
Yep.
The end of the fight, as they're getting ready to leave it, everything, they scroll by that window again, and he is still hanging there.
Yes.
I was like, that's awesome.
Yes. It certainly did.
That
Now-
was awesome. That was, I mean, I one of my favorite scenes from this entire series was that dude hanging in midair,
Yes.
feet up, head down. You
Yes.
know, just hilarious.
Well, from there, as Fury arrives in Finland, he meets up with Falsworth once again and reveals what Gravik's plan is, that he wants to harvest and he's going to kill all the new Skrulls. Innocent, doesn't matter who they are, even the trapped humans, which we all know about. We know they're there. And she asks, why is he doing this to his own people? And that's when he says, well, Gravik wants to harvest a collection of all the Avengers' DNA that was sampled after the Battle of Earth at Avengers compound, where the Skrulls were there to clean it up.
And this is where he was the leader of the group of Skrulls that went in to collect all of that.
So he knew.
And that is probably how he got the idea for
Yes.
the Super Skrull.
Yes.
Which makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a nice piece of background information that makes a lot of sense with his character and everything.
What I loved about this part was that they were standing in front of a tombstone with Fury's name on it.
Mm-hmm.
And Falsworth, without missing a beat, says, don't you have these elsewhere? Oh, yeah, I got tons.
Do you have more of these? I got them all over the place.
Got them all over the place.
A dead man A dead man needs options.
Yes. So he collects the harvest, puts on the eye patch, new coat, the works, gathers some weapons, and he goes to make his last stand against Gravik and flat out says, I'm coming.
It's time to go.
Time to go. I'm coming for you. That was the end of the episode. Okay. Now, let me get to Western Echo's comment, because he says, on a personal note, I was not fond of Gravik as the villain. He wasn't believable / diabolical enough. He was just meh. Yeah, we've mentioned that.
Yeah.
And as I stated in this episode, he's basically a spoiled brat.
But you know, I think we're kind of spoiled on the bad guy front.
Why?
When it comes to that statement, because in all the movies, the bad guy is so diabolical and so mean and so, just everything about him screams bad guy.
Yep.
Through all the movies that we've seen. And to me, Gravik is a more realistic kind of bad guy.
No, not really.
To me personally.
I mean,
he's a bad guy, but he still has a human side to him. And yes, pun intended.
yeah.
He still has a human side to him, Could he have been a little, if he would have shown the vicious side that he had when the fight scene in the cafeteria,
Yes.
where at the end of it, he's cut the guy's throat in front of everybody else. If he would have been like that throughout the entire movie or throughout the entire series,
Yeah.
it would have been a little bit more believable. I will agree, he was a little tame.
Yeah. And I will agree with you on that. It is if they showed that anger, that evil more.
Right.
Not too much. Not so much where, it's all in every single episode and you're throwing up because of it. Because it's making you sick that he's that evil. Now, I get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're sitting there going, can somebody really be that evil?
Yes.
Having that kind of thought.
Yeah.
The only thing about the fight scene in the cafeteria that I didn't like is the guy with the sledgehammer that started the whole thing off by hitting him in the lower spine.
Yeah.
Why didn't he hit him in the freaking back of the head?
Right.
Bury that freaking sledgehammer in the back of his head. You're going to have more chance of getting him down than hitting him in the lower spine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the only issue I had with that.
Weston Echo says, spoiled brat covers it. His motivation was petty and ordinary and simply not interesting or, again, believable on that scale. Right? He was a spoiled brat. You didn't find us a home. I'm going to kick your butt. That's really all it was.
Yeah. Well,
That's
and
really
he
all
felt
it
like
was.
he felt like that Fury forgot about him, just gave up on him. Used, and he says this in episode 6, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now. He's talking about how Fury used the scrolls for what he needed, and then basically threw him away.
Which is what Talos said.
So that's right. Yeah, Talos did say that.
Talos said that too.
Mm-hmm.
So
and it's totally understanding why they felt that way with him leaving Earth and not coming back.
Yeah. Now, for this episode, what do you rank it? How many eye patches?
3.5.
Okay.
3.5. It was a good episode, good fight scenes. Some great background information was revealed, but in my opinion, that information would have been better revealed in episodes 1 and 2. 3 at the latest, so we would have known a little bit more about the motivations and what he was trying to do and that kind of thing.
Yep.
It was good, fast paced, but again, like I stated last week, episodes 4 and 5 just felt like they were trying to shove 3 episodes worth of stuff into 1 episode.
Yeah. So
it was good. So it's 3.5.
Okay. I'm going to give this one 3.75. Only because I kind of saw everything that was coming. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like you said, it took too long to get there.
Okay.
It took too long to get there. And granted, I know they were only a half hour, but it did. It took too long to get there. And like we were just talking about with Gravik, I think if they showed more of that rage,
a little more history with him.
Yeah, a little bit better for the background story. Western Echo says he'll do 4 for this one because he already knows he's giving a lower score to number 6.
And Nakaya says that she's also giving this episode a 4.
Okay. So with that, we're going to go right into episode 6, which
home.
Episode 6 is, home, where this is it. This is the rundown. Fury returns home after the ambush. Right? No, I'm sorry. Vara returns home after the ambush, and Fury calls her and says, I'm going after Gravik. This is the last stand. That's it. We're done. I'm taking him out. We're doing what we need to do. And 2 Skrullos guards get gunned down by Fury, who makes his way.
I love how they did it, though.
Yeah, I love how they did it.
Slow rolling car.
Slowly but surely.
I mean, how cliche is that? But how perfect for this setting of the slow rolling car, and the guards are like, "Hey, stop! Oh, he's not stopping! Fire in the air!"
Yeah,
still not stopping.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
And walk around the side, and there's nobody in the car.
Pop, done. Pop, pop.
And then you hear bang, bang.
And that's all you hear. And they drop to the ground. And we see Fury basically just walk through the gates. Walks through the gates of the compound. And at the same time, Rava, who is Rhodey, is still trying to convince Ritson that he needs to take immediate action on the Skrulls on Russian soil and bomb them and get rid of them and kill them. When a Navy, I don't know, it wasn't an admiral, was it? Maybe it was. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I couldn't really see the rank.
I'm thinking like she was maybe like commander of the Navy.
Yeah,
something along those lines, or at least a high-ranking admiral.
Yeah, and she says, "Hold it! Don't do it! Postpone it!" And Rava denies the possibility the possibility of the motorcade being attacked to be a false flag operation, and insists that Russia is directly responsible. So you can see she is trying to twist and do it she needs to do in order to get Ritson to say, hey, okay, let's do it. And it's not working. It's not working at all. Western Echo says, can I ask a serious question? Did anyone at all not know it wasn't really Fury?
I will unashamedly raise my hand on that.
Hey, listen, you're being honest. That's okay.
I could see it happening.
Yes.
I could. Until I realized that, wait a minute, Fury's in two different places at the same
That's when you went,
time.
Shit.
Like, which one is which?
Which one is, who's the real one?
And yes, Echo, I know I just lost standing in your eyes, but that's okay.
You just remember, you're the outside source on this.
Yes.
It's the outside source. But again, Fury has a plan for everything. Right? Right.
Supposed to have a plan for everything.
So, while that's still happening, Rava is still trying to get Ritson to say, yeah, bomb them. Here are the satellite images. Here's the Russian armed forces moving their tanks to the borders of Finland and Ukraine. This is what's going on. This is the proof that you need that we're going to be at war with they're going to be at war with the United States. And then Rava gets informed by Sonia Falsworth that Fury is going to Ritson to stop the strike at all costs. So she calls him and says, hey, Fury's on the move.
And he's
You better watch yourself. You better watch.
Well, you better hide the president. You need to move him, get him out of that room.
Get him out, move him, and they go full berserk. Like, all right, let's do this. Let's.
I like the way that it was done though, because there's a threat on the president. We need to get him to a new location. They said they were going to move him up to the 5th floor.
Yep.
But it got the agents moving.
Yes.
Instead of having a stationary defensive position, which is easier to defend,
mm-hmm.
it got everybody moving. And to quote Rhodey, what about the rest of the men, sir? Send them hunting.
Send them hunting. Go, go, go.
Send them hunting. That's not a normal way that a human would put that.
It's very true.
A normal human would say something along the lines of, he's in the hospital, go find him, or something along, not go hunting.
Yeah. Go find him. Because Falsworth is a trustworthy person. She's MI6. The U.S. is her ally.
Yep.
Well, while that's happening, Fury is walking through the compound, witnessing the deaths of the Skrulls that tried the mutiny, and you can see he starts suffering from radiation poisoning. As he's
that was weird
down,
to me.
Why was it weird?
That whole scene to me was weird, because I was trying to figure out why all of those Skrulls were dead, because the uprising wasn't all of them.
No, those are just the ones that what was the mutiny.
No, because that was contained to the dining room. That was contained to the dining room, and the one guy that he threw through the door to, threaten everybody else and say who else wants it.
Right, but anybody else that he thought was going to attack him, he's the one that did whatever.
Right.
Western Echo wants to know if Rava was an important character in the comics. She's actually a space pirate. She really doesn't have that much relations with the Skrull Empire in the comics. And she's I'm trying to remember what else. I know she was prominent in the Black Bolt series. It's been a while. But she's, I would say she's a decent character in the comics. She's still alive, if that helps. I don't think she was ever killed, but
Right.
in this case, they had to choose somebody, so they chose her. Why not? So while he's walking through the compound, he's suffering through radiation poisoning, and he's getting further and further in, and they meet face to face with Gravik, who then starts to, talk. Let's have a little chat. About what's happening. And oh, by the way, you're dying. Haha.
Yeah. Let's talk about why I'm doing this.
Yeah. So Gravik tells Fury that this was the human appearance that I chose for a reason. And the reason was that he killed this guy. That was his first kill.
Mm-hmm.
And then starts lashing out at Fury. Starts yelling and screaming that he used the Skrulls to his advantage. That Talos was weak and didn't know what he was doing. So on and so forth. And Gravik tells Fury that once he's done with Fury, he's going to annihilate the entire human race. And that it would all be Nick Fury's fault. All because he's a spoiled brat. Well, Fury says,
Pretty much covers it.
It's really all it is. He's a spoiled brat. So Fury goes, yeah, it was my fault. My bad. I failed you. Blah, blah, blah. I'm the reason you're doing what you're doing.
And he also reveals that, he knew within the first couple of years that they weren't going to be able to find another planet. And I like this part of the conversation.
Yeah.
When he's doing the, you're right, I failed you, blah, blah, blah. He says that, I knew within the first couple of years, within a very short period of time, that we were not going to be able to find another planet for you.
Right.
And Gravik says, well, why didn't you do something? Why didn't you try to convince the people of Earth? He's like, it is easier to protect 8 billion people from you than to try and change their hearts and minds.
Very true.
A truer statement has never been said.
Yeah. You can't really argue with it.
You look at the events in the world today, with stuff against Islam and, the Egyptians and the Palestinians and the Israelis and all this. Mm-hmm. A truer statement has never been made.
Yeah. Western Echo says the entire scene with Gravik screaming at Fury was such an enormous turnoff. I was like, ew, really? That's your motivation? Right? Right? It was like, one, you saw it coming. The guy was pissed at Fury because he didn't find him a new home. Wah, get over it, dude. And then he also says, by the way, that is a sign of bad writing, and more importantly, Disney's target audience, effing children. Yeah, we won't go there. Because believe me, with whatever's going on with the acting and writer strike and all that stuff and political views and all that, another time. Absolutely another time. Because some of the stuff that they're doing, forcing it, bad idea. Don't mess with Marvel fans because they're worse than Star Wars fans sometimes. But, and I can say that because I like all. But while that's all happening, Fury says, once the snap happened, he had a way out. He ran from his problems. And then he returned to Earth because he was feeling responsible. You're my responsibility. I'm the one who needs to help you. I broke your promise.
You're the reason I came back.
Yeah. And then
we finally know why Fury came back.
It's because of you, you dork. But he gives over the harvest and he checks to see if the harvest is real. And boy, was that a list.
Yeah, it was.
That list had everybody.
And they only showed part of it. They didn't show the entire list.
Yes. So here's the most that we were able to catch. And I made sure that when it's changed the name, I paused it just so I could get it. Okay? I have it here. Here we go. Abomination. Now, mind you, Abomination was not a part of that battle. Okay? Black Panther, Captain America, Captain Marvel, the Chitauri, Corvus Clave, Drax, Ebony Maw, Gamora, Ghost, Hulk, Korg, Mantis, the Outriders, Proxima Midnight, Thanos, Thor, Valkyrie, Winter Soldier.
But the weird thing is they didn't show the one name that had previously been emphasized about the harvest.
Yes, they did. Because if you go back and watch it again, he's already got Cull Obsidian, he's already got Groot, he's already got the Extremis and the Frost Beast, but they do mention Captain Marvel in that list.
Oh, did they say Captain Marvel? Did you say Captain Marvel?
It does say Captain Marvel in that list.
Okay, my bad. Interesting statement from Echo. He says, someone pointed out, by the way, something else. Did you notice the list on the computer screen contained the name, their show handles, and not their actual names? That doesn't surprise me at all. Why would they put their actual names when the powers that they're after are the powers of the superhero, not the hidden identity?
Agreed.
So to me, that's not weird at all. It would be weird to me if they put the actual names, because 90% of the people probably wouldn't know but one or two of them.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody's going to know Captain America, Thor,
sure,
Hulk, So that doesn't surprise me at all.
Sure. So Gravik takes the harvest, he puts it in the machine, he starts the Skrull power replicator up, and it's a big ball of light. And
Can I tell you my initial reaction when that happened and Fury was still inside?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait a minute. That's weird. Why would he do that with Fury being in there? But then I thought about the fact that when they set up the replicator, they did it using the Skrull statistics, I guess.
Sure.
And not not human. So he was thinking that it would kill Fury.
Well, I mean, the radiation.
He didn't think that Fury would survive the process, I think, is what came in my head.
Well, the radiation poisoning was killing him anyway, so this was just going to add more to it.
Yeah, this is going to finish him off.
This is going to kill him. Western Echo says he disagrees. He's assuming information was from a government database, which would have their names, not superhero handles.
It wasn't from a government database. It was from a database for, I'm assuming, like for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well,
when they
that
went through and did the collections, so they would put the name of the individual that they collected from, not their hidden identity.
Yeah. And the other thing is the Skrulls probably didn't know their real names. So
And I don't think the U.S. government really knew that Fury had the harvest.
Yeah, no.
I don't think they knew, because if they would have tried to get it from him.
Yeah. He also says that the CGI final battle fight scene of Gravik and Gaia, which we're going to get into, all of a sudden made DC Films look like the masterpiece theater. Yeah, let's not go there.
I liked it.
The Flash.
That's just me.
The Flash. Enough said. But we are talking about that now because really, as Gravik is beating the living shit out of Nick Fury, all of a sudden he catches Gravik's hand and turns into Gaia.
Yeah, I love the catch.
Which made sense because now there's two Super Skrulls out there beating the living shit out of each other. But in the meantime, the real Nick Fury shows up and takes out the Secret Service detail guarding President Ritson with a tranquilizer. He doesn't kill them or anything. And he also confronts Rava with Fallsworth. And Fury tries to tell Ritson, dude, they're here. He's one of them.
And he's one of them.
Listen to me.
I did like what the lady in red said when she confronted him.
Yeah.
Didn't check behind the doors. You must be a Skrull. I love that line.
It's a great line.
Mm-hmm, yeah. It is. One of the better lines in the movie or in the series.
So at the same time, he's claiming that the Skrull resistance had been kidnapping and replacing the world officials, and all of them will die if Ritson will not listen. And Rava dismisses everything. He's like, come on. They're the enemies. Nuke them. Kill them. Take them out.
You believe what they're saying? Do you really think these stories are true?
Well, me. I don't know.
Had a little bit of Beaker going on there.
Right. So as the Air Force, the U.S. Armed Forces, that's pretty much everybody, prepared to launch a nuclear strike, Rava tries to attack Fallsworth, but gets killed by Fury because he puts a bullet through her head, witnessing the true face of Rava. And Ritson goes, oh, okay, call it off. That's all he needed to see.
Somebody give me a phone.
All he needed to see. Well, Gaia and Gravik are engaging in a duel. They're beating the hell out of each other all over this wonderful campus, through walls, and puts a hole through
smokestacks.
Puts a hole through him. I don't know how she put a hole through him. I don't remember. I think it was laser eyes or something. I don't know. But yeah,
I think it was Miss Marvel power.
Yeah, maybe.
Just blew a big old freaking hole.
Yeah,
right there. You ain't coming back from that. I don't care how much healing power you have when the bottom half of your heart is completely and utterly destroyed.
Yeah,
you're not coming back from that.
No, definitely not. So after she destroys Gravik, she then goes in and frees all the humans that are there. And one of those would be James Rhodes, Everett Ross, the doctors. They're all there. And the invasion was thwarted for now. Ritson addresses the state and reveals the existence of the Skrulls that are among them. And that sparks some interesting
all kinds of hell.
Because now they're going through and it's like a hit squad is going after them all.
But, here's the thing. Obviously they're not fully informed. They don't know who is and who isn't.
Right.
And the people that are doing this, they're killing
humans.
Yes, they're killing Skrulls in the process.
Yes.
But they're also killing humans.
Yes.
And they're also getting their asses kicked.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So, with that, the Skrulls are now labeled as terrorists. And he's ratifying a bill that can kill any Skrull on sight. And that's not a good thing.
Yep. His message of hate, as Fury put it.
Yes. But Fury meets with Vara one more time before he decides, hey, I'm leaving again. I'm going off world. And says, hey, listen, will you give me one more chance?
If you can find a way to forgive me, you know where I'll be.
Can you give me one more chance, please?
Yep. I like that line.
And while that's happening, Fallsworth says, hey, Gaia, you and I can help each other. I can help your people. You can help my people. Let's get it all together. And, I'm not your friend. I'm not your enemy. But
I'm going to use you. You're going to use me. But at least we both know it.
Yes. But at least we both know it. And
we can, we can work together and save your people.
Yep. And at the same time, they find dozens of humans that were captured by Skrulls throughout the years. And you can see that they're still in those stasis pods. Fury also confronts Ritson on the anti-Skrull rhetoric, saying, dude, call it off. Knock your shit off. What are you going to learn from this? Nothing.
I can truly understand where he's coming from because, it was Skrulls that damn near killed him.
True, but
so,
a Skrull also
I can understand him hating Skrulls, but at the same time, just because, like we always say, just because there's a few bad apples in the bunch doesn't mean that all of them are bad.
True. But as Ritson retorts back, if you really care that much about them and want them alive, they need to leave. Get off Earth.
Yep.
And as Fury prepares to leave to go back up to Saber, Vara shows up and he says, the Kree are willing to start talking peace talks. I could use your help. Which is a good thing because the Kree and the Skrulls have always been at each other. And I think with the snap and the blip, it may have turned the Kree around a little bit, because, they were always fighting. And at least this way, with the beginning of the peace talks between the Kree and the Skrulls, you can get the Skrulls off world, which is going to be interesting to say the least. Vara says, listen, I'll help you get started, but that's it. After
then
that,
I have to come back here because my work is here.
Yep, my work is here. So she then assumes her original form, and the two kiss. Aww. So lovey-dovey. The two kiss, and it's just amazing. Then they both get into the lift, and they leave Earth. So, that is how episode 6 ended. With that being said,
So, Sully, what do you give? What is your eye patch rating for episode 6?
A 3.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. And
mostly because there's still a lot of unanswered questions, and I will bring them up shortly. Well, actually, not even unanswered questions. A theory that I know is true. And I know it's true because once you hear it, no one will be able to argue with me on it. And it'll be a mind-blown situation. I didn't even bring this up to Lady Death specifically for today because I know the minute I say it, her mind is going to explode out of her head. The writing for this episode was so-so. It was very predictable.
Right.
Very, very predictable. Echo is agreeing with me that Gravik is a crybaby, which is pretty much what it is. He was a crybaby. He was a spoiled brat who wanted his own world, and this guy broke his promise. Really? That's the reason? Seriously? Very predictable, though. Very predictable. I knew it was Gaia walking in. I knew it was going to be a Super Skrull showdown. I called it. I did. I called the whole episode. Now, before I get into the mind-blown situation, JT, what do you give the rating?
2.
2? Whoa!
2.
Explain.
I hated it. I hated it. The best parts of this episode were some of the lines that were said.
Yeah.
AKA, not checking behind the door. Boy, you really are a Skrull.
That was funny,
And,
though.
there were a couple other lines that made the episode for me.
Sure.
I didn't mind the final fight scenes. I mean, yeah, it was a little cheesy. It was a little weak, but this whole episode has been a little cheesy and a little weak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even the transformations when the human impersonator Skrull is killed and he changes back to his original form, even that was cheesy.
Yeah.
So I knew from the beginning, from episode 1, when the Skrull got killed at the beginning and he transformed back to a Skrull, I'm like, that's crap.
Yeah.
That's crap. They had better freaking transformations for Abomination when he was in jail.
Yes.
So it was a highly disappointing episode all the way across. And I would have given it a 3, except the ending was just so freaking piss poor. The ending was so freaking piss poor that even I'm sitting there going, I'm a dumbass redneck, and I could write a better ending for this show.
Well, Western Echo.
So that's why I give it a 2.
Western Echo agrees with you, and he says the best part of the episode was anything Olivia Colman said, who played Fallsworth. So he's right there with you. Lady Death is giving it a 3.5. Perfectly fine. I think this is probably my lowest rated episode of the series, which is perfectly fine.
I've had a rating of a 1, so
yeah, that is true.
What's your series rating though, as an overall series?
Okay, series rating. I'm going to give it a 3.5 for a series rating. Had its moments. It did. It had its moments. Mm-hmm. But like Western Echo said in the chat, it's a setup series. And it is. It's a setup series for the Marvels. It's also a setup series for Armor Wars, which was supposed to be a series and is now becoming a movie. So it's there.
See, Echo, me and you were on total opposite ends of the scale here. His comment in chat was it was still better than Falcon and Winter Soldier. I love Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is one of the best series that they've done.
So,
but that's him and me.
I don't know.
I'm the outside guy, so
I don't know if it was better than Falcon and Winter Soldier, and the only reason why is because I think Falcon and Winter Soldier had more. It had more of that action to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
It had a hell of a lot better storyline.
Well, I don't think you can also compare the two, only because they're two different genres, and I love spy genre. This was spy genre. It was lacking.
That's the one thing I had to keep telling myself.
Yeah, it was lacking.
I mean, for me, overall score is. I'm gonna have to say like maybe 2.75.
Wow.
I honestly cannot find enough in these 6 episodes to push me up to a 3.
Really?
And think about it, the highest rating I gave was a 3.5.
What if I changed your mind? What if I
Don't think
said
you can.
something to you that a lot of people overlooked?
Don't think you can. But you can try. I won't stop you.
I'm not going to try, but I'm going to bring this up.
Okay.
So one of the things about this episode that I noticed right away
Mm-hmm.
was when Gaia was freeing everybody at the compound.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I noticed was that Rhodey was in a hospital gown.
Right. You and I discussed that.
Which means Rhodey was replaced during Captain America Civil War.
Which was a long freaking time ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You talk about a Skrull playing his part and infiltrating,
Which means,
as much as to end up in the position that he was in. He definitely played his part.
which means he doesn't know Tony's dead.
Right.
He was also never a part of the Battle of Earth at Avengers Compound.
Right.
It was a Skrull the entire time.
But think about it. He's one of the few superheroes because Rudy. No, because Rhodey is considered a superhero when he had the Iron Man suit and all that good shit.
He is
right?
War Machine.
But he did not have superpowers. That's why you don't see Iron Man as one of the DNA that was collected.
Same with Rhodey.
Same with Rhodey. So those two and a few others like Batman, not Spider-Man because he did have superpowers. But those two and Batman, the only ones that come to my head right off the bat, were very few of the superheroes that they could have replicated.
Well,
Because
Batman,
they didn't have to mimic their superpower.
well, Batman wasn't in this.
Right? Well, I'm just. The mind was trying to think
yes.
of superheroes who did not actually
Right,
have superpowers.
I see where you're going with it. I do.
But they had, those. He was one of the few that they could replicate because they didn't have to have a superpower like flying or freaking super stretching or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
it makes you wonder who else was a Skrull.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've already thought about that. But it's still not enough to make me change my mind.
Western Echo says Ant-Man would be a more relatable superhero here, JT. Yes.
Yeah, Ant-Man didn't pop in my head.
Yes, because of Pym particles. Yay,
Right.
Pym particles. But Rhodey is the key right there.
Yeah. And you notice because when Rhodey got hurt, it was his back that got messed up.
His legs.
You noticed his back and his legs.
Well, yeah.
They had to carry him out.
Yeah. They carried him out.
Yeah.
He couldn't walk.
Yep.
And
he
Ross
almost
even
fell out
said
of the
to
pod.
him,
If Guy hadn't stopped him, he would have hit the ground.
and Ross even said to him, how long have you been here?
Yep.
So we know Ross got taken somewhere after Black Panther. After Black Panther, because he got shot in the first one.
Yeah, he got shot in the first one. Was he in 2?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought he was.
Yes. He was in the second one too. Not long, but he was in there.
Right.
But
it was probably around that time that he disappeared.
yeah. So,
but I mean, it doesn't change my opinion as far as my overall score. I mean, it would change maybe my anticipations for things to come.
okay.
But it's not going to change my overall opinion of the series itself. I just I almost gave it a 2.5. I was nice and gave it 2 3/4.
Aw, that was very nice of you. That was.
But that's where I'm at.
It was
so.
very nice of you. Well,
I try to be a nice guy every now and then. You know.
Overall, decent series. Western Echo says if we're comparing spy genres, it's nowhere near Andor. No, absolutely not. Nowhere near Andor. Yes, they are different genres, but Andor was freaking phenomenal. Phenomenal. Yep. I can't wait for season 2 of that. But in this case, Secret Invasion is done now, which means we get to go on a little bit of a break from Avenger Pretenders.
About 3 weeks.
Where it will be 2 Ewoks in the park. And we'll be talking about Ahsoka. But, and I stress the but, I love that this just dropped today because it was very fitting. Very, very fitting for this. And that, my friends, is Avenger Pretenders will be back in October. And you're probably saying to yourself, what? Why October? Well, Marvel, gotta love them. Although I don't know why they're doing it the way they are, has released a trailer, folks. Yes, that's right, a trailer.
Do you think that maybe they're doing this because of the strike, and this is something that was done already, and they could take advantage of that? Maybe.
No. I believe it was already planned for October. But we've talked about this. Oh yes, we've talked about this. So I'm just going to go right to it, and we're going to show the trailer for the brand new series, Season 2 of Loki. Yep, you heard me right, folks. Season 2 of Loki.
One of JT's favorites.
Hobie? Hello? We have a little bit of a situation we wanted to run by you.
Mobius! Wow!
Oh,
Great
it's
to see
Dr.
you
Jones!
again.
It's Short Round!
That's what's been happening.
Wow. Time slipping.
Wait, you know that?
Yeah.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
Can you fix that?
No. It's impossible to time slip in the TVA.
I know, but we just saw it happen.
Yeah.
We did, didn't we?
I've been pulled through time between the past and the present.
Hello?
If what I saw is true, there's nothing to stand between this world and utter destruction.
Only one way to find out. A little good old-fashioned legwork. Listen, we have different styles. You're a man of action, which is fine. I take a more slow, deliberate, cerebral approach. It's really goodbye.
There he is. October 6th, folks.
It's up to us to save this place.
Is this crack?
Oh,
You okay?
Whatever we do, we're playing God.
Oh, Sylvie's back
We
too.
are gods. But how do you choose who lives and
Wait a
who
minute.
dies?
Make the hard choice.
Make the hard choice. Oh, yes.
You better run!
War is on its way.
Come on, you're the god of mischief.
the clock.
Always have been. Always will be.
little over the top, don't you think?
I thought it was spot on.
By the way, Marvel and Disney Plus do not sponsor this show, but it'd be really, really cool if they did. Just putting it out there. So
No,
yes.
we're not woke enough for them to.
True indeed. True indeed.
Okay. Did I see shadows of two Lokis?
More
In there?
than two.
There was one point in there
Yes.
where there was a person and there were two shadows, and both of them sprouted Loki horns.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. This actually, dude, I'll tell you what. This looks good
It does, doesn't it?
compared to season one. Because I wasn't a big fan of season one.
Oh, I love season 1.
This looks good.
It's going to be
This looks
interesting.
good.
It's going to be interesting to see how they tie it in to Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Mm.
It's going to be very interesting because this I have a feeling that this season of Loki is going to be is going to have a huge impact on the MCU.
And good old Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror. He's all over the place right now.
I was about to say, I hate that name.
You can. I mean,
Oh no, it's Kang the Conqueror.
Weston Echo says, you weren't a fan of Loki season 1, but you loved Falcon and Winter Soldier. Whenever you're smoking, I want the number of your dealer.
It would be the Lobob's just down the street here.
There you go.
Yeah.
And they do not sponsor the show, but it'd be pretty cool if they did.
No, it's not that I didn't like season one of Loki. It was good. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't a big fan of it.
Okay.
You know, and we talked about it back then. It just, I could only handle so much jumping around.
Yeah, well, this one's probably going to
You
have a
know.
lot just because of Kang.
Yeah, and you know there was a lot of jumping around in season one. In Secret Invasion, there was a lot of jumping around in episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
4, 5, and 6.
We're fine.
We did not jump.
Nope.
We did not time jump in 4, 5, and 6. But in 1, 2, and 3, and it even bothered Kay. In 1, 2, and 3, we jumped all over the freaking place.
Yes. Yeah, because you're going
So-
from past to present and so on and so forth. So it was there.
You go from past to present to future, and back to past, back to future, back to the present. And it's like, okay, stop.
Lady Death says your brain can't handle
so-
that.
Exactly. But it can handle it, but to an extent.
It's true. It's true.
You know, and after a while, my brain's just like, no, forget it. I'm done.
Oh, tapping.
You know.
I'm tapping.
So,
Well, that will be in October. Obviously, the Monday after October 6th, we will have Avenger Pretenders once again for Loki season 2. And we starting at the end of August, I believe the 25th,
something like that.
24th or 25th. I forget what day. It's one of those 2 days. We will have the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. So 2 Ewoks in the Park will be for that following Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern
The
time.
28th would be their first show.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So with that being said, that's the end of our take on Secret Invasion and our rundown and our opinions and all the side jokes and everything else like that. When our next show will be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Sully Show. So tell your friends, spread the word, take the link, post it on your Facebook page, let your friends know, hey, we're going to be live and we're going to be having a good time. Great show planned for tomorrow as well. Trust me, it's going to be a good one.
And for anybody that might be wondering, in reference to a Secret Invasion season 2, don't expect it.
Yeah,
it
don't
was
expect
planned, but things have changed, so it's not looking like season 2 of Secret Invasion is going to happen after all. But it has not been completely poo-pooed.
That's true.
It's not been completely poo-pooed, but it is in a state of constipation right now.
Yes. Due to the writer's strike and the actor's strike as well. So, yeah.
They had to
wants,
adjust.
wants to know if he sent us enough movie trailers. Yes, you did.
We could use a couple dozen hundred more.
Hopefully we'll be able to do the trailer park on Tuesday. We'll see.
Tomorrow.
Really all depends on what we got and what we're talking about and all that good stuff. So, for now, Avenger Pretenders and 2 Week Walks in the Park will be back starting August and then October. The Sully Show will be live tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll have the Dumbass of the Week as well as the Trailer Park. I can't believe I read that. A new world record story. We're getting down to the nitty gritty of our shotgun for speed round for the world record stories. And just normal everyday conversation with you, the viewers. So, for JT and myself, this has been the end of this round of Avenger Pretenders, and we will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody, and be safe.
Bye-bye.